share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Joe Pugh for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Joined on his birthday, Mr. Ricky Hatton. First of all, happy birthday.
Thank you. Yep.
Another year older.
One step nearer me free bus pass.
Brilliant. Right, it's been a strange 24 hours. I know Umar caught up with you briefly yesterday, so I won't keep you for too long. No one really knows what's happening right now. I think it's 20 past 3, just to timestamp this. Multiple reports saying the fight is off. What's your understanding, Rick?
Well, I'm hearing the whispering that the fight's off. But I mean, at the end of the day, we just got to wait. We're all in the same boat here. We're all assuming. We're all listening to whispers, and none of us. We just got to wait. For a couple of hours to hear the absolute facts. To be honest with you, I mean, CONOR says he doesn't know how this has happened, and there's a reason for it. There must be a reason for it, which he wants to get to the bottom to. But I believe him 100%. I believe CONOR, but it's a very black and white question for me. Drug tests are in place, performance enhancing drugs are in your system. It gives one person an advantage. Then it's fight off, isn't it? And it'd be interesting to see if the fight does take place, how they can wiggle round that. You fail a drug test with something that can help your performance, which gives you an advantage over one fighter. So the fight's off. The fight should be off, and don't forget, the safety of the boxer is always paramount. Bearing in mind that Conor's bulking up and Chris is coming down to chuck this on the cake as well. It'll be interesting to see what Eddie says in a couple of hours. I don't envy him his job.
So, in your opinion, is it a bad look for British boxing if this does go ahead, knowing what we already know about the A samples and not getting a B sample yet?
Yeah, I think it might be. I think at the end of the day, they're put there for a reason, aren't they? And if someone fails it, and I believe CONOR when he says he doesn't know how this has happened and that, I believe him. He's like his own man. He's a fighting man. You know what I mean? And I believe him 100%. And I think he'll want to get to the bottom of it just as much as the board do. But I mean, rules are there, are in place. And if it goes ahead, I would like to hear the explanation of how, when what's happened has happened.
Everyone knows how much weight you had to cut in your career, Ricky. Chris will have had to make an all-time career weight cut. In his head, how is he feeling right now after all that work, and now it probably isn't going to happen?
They've both worked hard for it, CONOR and Chris. No doubt Chris maybe works a little bit harder than he has done with his dieting and stuff like that. Yes, I think both of them will be absolutely devastated, and it'd be interesting. I've got someone on the undercard. It'd be interesting to see if the undercard goes ahead, because I mean, people have booked hotels, people have booked train tickets, people have booked flights. People have probably some people probably come to London for a weekend. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if the undercard goes, then the undercard don't get paid, do they? So I mean, hopefully the undercard will go ahead, and that will mean one positive out of such a bad negative, won't it?
Last one, Eddie Hearn has confirmed that he will not be using any boards outside of the British Boxing Board of Control. The Luxembourg board was rumoured, and the Sauerland said they would look down that avenue. Do you think Eddie was right to stick with the British Boxing Board of Control?
I think so. Listen, Eddie will want to do the right thing, as well. And I think that's why he's stuck by the. I think that's why he's stuck by the Board of Control. So I can't see the main event happening with what's taking place. You know what I mean? And if for some reason it does take place, I'd like to know the reason. Because for me, it's you fail a drug test, your fight's off, and I think that's why they're put there. You know what I mean? So, if it does go ahead, it'd be interesting to hear the reason what they give.
Do you think the British public will demand a reason?
Of course they do. They deserve one, and no doubt there'll be further tests, and they'll and they'll get the bottom of it, But I believe, Conor, it's not been done intentionally. He doesn't know how it's possible, and I believe him because he's a fighting man. But, further tests need to be done by the board. So not only fight fans know, Conor himself, he'll want to know. Yeah.
Excellent, Ricky. Thank you very much for speaking to IFL, and hope that Chloe does get out whatever happens.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife and saying completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.